Well, hello, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the first day of Dartmouth. It has been day one at the Paddy Power World Darts Championship. Joined alongside me, as happens quite often these days on this show, by the wonderful Mr. Corwin Evans. Corwin, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Very excited for Christmas now that the most important day of the calendar has arrived. The opening day of the PDC World Darts Championship. Very excited. I'm looking forward to what the next 2.5 weeks or so brings. Really.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? It is, like I say, it is finally. It feels like it's Christmas now, doesn't it? We've got through sort of everything else, and now the action is underway. We've had a reasonable first day of action. I wouldn't say it was sort of. We've seen some good and some slightly less good, but it's not been a bad watch, and I think it's always just exciting having that first day back, isn't it?
Oh, exactly, and I think maybe we were all expecting something big from the defending world champion, but he was overshadowed on a couple of occasions tonight. But obviously, the main thing is with this first day is to win your first match and feel like you're part of the tournament. Because if you do lose today, I'd imagine Christmas becomes a very long break then with no darts to contemplate post the festive period.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Like you say, especially as the reigning champ, if you were to go out on this first day, like it's a long old tournament and it's a lot of darts that you're going to be watching and not well, or trying to avoid possibly at that point, depending on how you sort of feel about it. But to get you through to the end there, plenty of people in the chat room already. As always, you guys make this what it is. So get involved. We'll do predictions later on, like we always do. So always love getting everyone's predictions in on there. But anything during the show, we'll try and sort of answer any questions if you've got any, or just throw up any opinions you've got on what we've seen today. And I think straight away what we'll do is we'll sort of just get into the action. Really, I think is what we'll do, and start it off with T. Cole up against Joe Comito of Australia. Um, the stats aren't fantastic on this game, but it was a very good watch actually. This, and there was some ropey darts in there, but there was also a lot that was really good from both of them. And I've got a feeling that Joe Comito might be a little bit disappointed to be going home at this point because he had a lot of opportunities in this game.
Yeah, this felt like a game where one player couldn't risk losing it, whilst the other, for a set and a half, didn't believe he could win it. And by the time he believed he could potentially win the game, unfortunately, it was two sets down. But yeah, it's one of those where Joe will have a long fight back, sort of contemplating how it went wrong because he had more 180s. He pretty much matched the 140s. It was the doubles, I guess, that let him down, and key times where he could have got a foothold in the game and to sort of try and to try and take the lead and go ahead. But fair play, Tricol showed he'd been on the stage before, that he's showed that bit of big stage experience, I guess, needed to get him over the line. But he wouldn't have been very impressed with that, knowing that later on tonight he'd have to come back out onto that stage to face Luke Humphreys, and probably knowing during that break that you'd have to find something spectacular to have any hope of defeating Luke Humphreys, really. But no, fair play to him. He got the win, just a few nice finishes in amongst it, but a lot of loose starts from both players, I thought.
Yeah, there were a lot of really sort of questionable darts at time. There was one, I think, whether it was, I don't know if it was the first or second set, where Comito hit the first two treble 20s, and then the third one, we were sat there watching it and going, Where's that gone? Until the score flashed up on the screen, we had no idea where it had actually gone that last part. It just completely flew. But like I said, there was a lot of good. He will feel those first two sets. There were opportunities where he could have won those first two sets. And he sort of got the performance that you'd have wanted out of the Colin, that you don't want him to average 80 and not be at his best and only less than 30% on the doubles. That's perfect for what you want to play against in the first round of the World Championship. You're going to get yourself a win on that stage. But at the same time, you know how hard it is up there. It's really tough, especially on your first event there. But a win for Steve, obviously gets him off to a start, gets a bit of money in the bank as well, and it just gave him the opportunity to, like I say, he needed to be better, but the opportunity to go and give it a go against the world champ in the last game of the night.
Yeah, and I think whenever you're sort of faced with the prospect of playing Luke Humphries in a tournament, if you're going to catch him cold, it's going to be on the first night, and obviously the added pressure of being defending champion. I think Cole would have liked probably to come out with maybe a 93, 94 average of that first game, showed that he was up for a battle, and just to put a little bit of doubt in Luke Humphries' mind as well, because without a doubt, he'd have, if he'd not been watching the game, he'd have been hearing updates of how it was going and who his likely opponent was going to be. But yeah, Cole just... Was it the prospect of playing two games on the opening night? I don't know, but there was something about him. He just didn't seem to have his usual flow, and Kamita will probably look back on it and think, I had a big chance there to make a real marker and to get my name in the second round. But unfortunately for the Aussie star, it wasn't meant to be this evening.
No, not meant to be this evening. But I think from what we saw, I think it's someone that we'll certainly see back again at some point, because the way that he played certainly showed that he has it. Someone who not only will we see back again, but we will see tomorrow afternoon is Jermaine Watamena. This was a really, really good performance, I thought.
Yeah, he sort of picked up from where he's been the last few months now, really. He's sort of dropped down the rankings and changed his style, changed the way he throws, slowed down a bit, and it seems to work wonders for him. He's a completely different player. There's not as many maybe erratic darts as we used to see. I think for too long he threw too fast and was never in control of his throw. But he seems to be more in control of everything now, and
really slight hesitation, isn't it? It's not much at all, but it's just enough just to give him just a level of sort of control over it, that it just feels a bit more like he is able to just think a little bit more as he does it and give himself the opportunity to do that before he lets it go. And so it's clearly working wonders, because 3-0 win over Stefan Belmont, who is a player that we know can really play as well. This was one where you could easily get trips up here.
Yeah, I sort of before this game started, sort of saw the potential for this one to go deep. Maybe even a last set decider, just because obviously you never know with what you're going to get. Even though he's been playing better, it's the Worlds. It's a different stage. It's a different environment. It's different pressures. But no, very professional from him. And Belmont, I don't think he can be too disappointed with himself, as in doubling maybe a bit low percentage-wise, but he's at 5 maximum. He's averaged 92, as in most first-round games.
At all.
Yeah, no, most first-round games, you'd expect that to sort of be enough maybe to see you through. It's just, unfortunately for him, he's come up against one of the informed players coming into the tournament, and somebody who's very, very confident in Watamena, and he'll definitely be desperate to get back on that stage tomorrow and have a pop at Mr. James Wade.
Yeah, he will that. And someone else that will be desperate to get back on the stage and have a pop against their upcoming opponent as well will be Keane Barry. Again, this game was a fantastic watch. I sort of gutted that we didn't get a last set decider in this, because I just wanted to see more of it. I didn't want it to end. I would have been quite happy if this was a final.
Yeah, it was two players hitting big scores, loving the big stage, giving it the big one when those important doubles were going in, and yeah, another one, as you say, before the dart was thrown, you could have easily pictured this 3-2 either way, just because I think as a first round draw, these two coming up against each other was horrible for both of them, because both players are more than capable of going deep at any major tournament. And it just felt like Huybrechts did the mistake of winning the first set. And after that, Barry went, no, we're not having this. And then he went crazy on the turn plus checkouts. Crucial turn plus checkouts as well in that second set.
Well, that's it. He wasn't just hitting them at times where like he wasn't under any pressure. They were hitting them to win legs with Huybrechts on a double or very close to being on a double and in that position. Obviously, one of them came in the leg where Huybrechts missed 6 darts. He was on for a 10 darter, missed 6 darts at double. And then I think that was the 112, I think it was.
Yeah, that was the 112. And I think he hit the 108 to win the set with Huybrechts on a 2-darter or maybe even...
Yeah, I think so as well,
yeah.
So, yeah, really, really impressive performance from him, this. And like I say, I think it's another one of those games where he's going to fancy he's got a real good chance going forwards as well now.
Well, I think he faces a certain Mr. Geraint Price in the next round, doesn't he? And we don't know what form Geraint Price will be turning up in, as in social media suggests his head's back in the right place and that he's doing all the right things. But obviously, you never know, don't you? So it'll certainly be an exciting prospect seeing those two go head to head.
100%.
In the next round.
Definitely one that I'm going to be looking forward to. That one will come tomorrow evening, last game of the night. But yeah, this game was just so much fun. The scoring was brilliant from both. Like I say, we had the big checkouts from Keane as well, and I think Tim will just be the outer ring.
Yeah,
will be what he'll be sort of concerned around, and we're seeing he's back in a little bit of form and been playing better, but still just a little bit of rustiness there maybe for Kim.
Yeah, and I think that ultimately the difference, wasn't it? You look at the stats and Keane Barry over 50% on his doubles and Huybrechts 25%. Now, obviously, 6 of the 21
are in one leg, but he also lost that leg, so they sort of count those as well.
Yeah,
really.
well, exactly, because it was a leg he should have won, as you say, in 10 darts, could have won in 10 darts, but ends up losing it in 15, I think, or 18. But yeah, that was the main difference in that Keane Barry took his chances and punished Huybrechts when Huybrechts just couldn't find enough on the outer ring to force a last set decider or even to take the win, really.
Yeah, absolutely that. And that then led us into the final game of the night and to seeing the reigning world champion, who really enjoyed his walk on, it seemed. He obviously took the time, as you absolutely should, to drink it all in, to just really take in the moment. And because you never know, it might be the last time he ever gets announced as being the reigning world champion at that point. And
sorry.
Oh, go on, sorry. Yeah.
No, I was going to say, it must be one of the greatest feelings ever. Obviously, for the first time being announced as world champion must be special, but then to be announced for the first time back where you won that world title, I can imagine that's probably just something dreams are made of, and something I certainly never witnessed, but I can imagine it's sort of an unbelievable feeling. So milk it for as long as you can, Luke, I say.
Yeah, 100%. It definitely, for us, it will just be a dream. It won't. It's never come into fruition, but certainly for me, and I think you're in sort of similar standard of darts playing.
Yeah, definitely
on that one. So yeah, not one that we're ever going to get as a player, but like I say, it's something that it's got to be enjoyed. You've got to take your time and enjoy it, and it looked like you really did. And then it was just a good, solid, professional performance. It wasn't. There was nothing amazing. It was the same sort of steady game from Thibault that we saw in the first game of the night. He didn't really raise his level. There were a couple of points higher on the averages, but I think that's just because he didn't get that many opportunities at a double against Luke. And he didn't really have to even get out of first gear to rattle through this with a whitewash of 9-0 in legs, 3-0 in sets, and put your feet up now, enjoy Christmas, and come back.
Yeah, it was all a bit too easy, really, wasn't it? And I guess as a defending world champion, do you want a game like that to start off, or do you want a bit more pressure and your belt? I'd imagine he'd be more than happy with getting through that game without any stress, any pressure. As in, I know Tregol missed 8 darts at a double, but he never sort of looked comfortable in that stage tonight, and he just couldn't raise his game when he had a real chance. Because I know Luke Humphries averaged 90, and he could have probably raised his game had he needed to, but you don't often see Luke Humphries averaging 90, which means that there's probably chances coming his way. Coming to his opponent, but Tregol just never took any of them, and Luke Humphries now probably have a couple of days off, think, right, that's the first round out of the way with, and we can just enjoy Christmas with the family and then get to the sort of the important part of the year, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. You said, like, would you want at this point just have the easy one, or do you want to sort of get challenged a little bit? I think with how long he's got off now until he plays again, I think you don't, just doesn't really matter. Just get through it, get through the game, and just make sure you're in that next round. One bit of magic, the 160 was pretty special from Luke. Even as soon as that first start went in, it just, you felt like it was going, didn't you? It just never really in doubt at that point, and just a really good, like I say, good solid performance that just puts him through into the next round. And that is where we end on today's action. Before we do go on to tomorrow's, I think we might just have a clip from Keen Barry as well. I don't think we've got anything from Luke yet. Obviously, Phil's in the venue, all the interviews, and will go up the on the YouTube channel and on socials, and you'll see them all about. So go and check those out at a later point. But yeah, we have got a little clip just loaded up from Keen Barry. So we'll just hear from him, and then we'll go on to looking at tomorrow's action.
No, definitely. It's a very good confidence booster going into tomorrow. Like, I knew playing against Kim, me and Kim played a few times over the last couple of years. It's always been a great game. So it's just a matter. I knew I needed to play well, and even in the first set, obviously Kim took the first set, but I knew I needed to play really well, and I did. You know, you're never going to get an easy game against Kim. So it was one of them. Just kind of go up there and take me chances when I can.
Gezzy's not been in the best of form on TV. Is he one of the seeds that you can really attack?
It's one of them, you know, it's a world championship. Everyone shows up for the world championship, so you can kind of, I don't really look into what players have done previous or what form they're in. I know what I need to do. I know I need to play well, and I know I need to hit my doubles to win a game. So it's just going to treat it like any other game, really.
He speaks really well, doesn't he, kid? He sort of,
Yeah.
you listen to him and you just think, he's just, for someone still as young as he is at this stage, very calm, very composed. And I think that's what we saw in that performance as well from him, really, and why he didn't sort of flap at all when it came down to hitting those big shots in the big moments.
Yeah, did I hear them right saying on commentary that was his 6th appearance at ThePaddy?
I thought I heard something along those lines.
Which is incredible for 22-year-olds.
A ridiculous amount to say that he is only 22. I think he is.
Yeah, crazy. But I guess shows how long he's been around and the experience now he's got on that stage, because he doesn't need to fear anybody. He's got the game. He just needs to produce it.
Yeah, so he debuted at 17, James has just said in the chat. So that, I would imagine, probably is his 6th time up there then. Which,
crazy.
Madness. It's like, it's just that thing, though, isn't it? They're all so young when they start off. I feel like they've been around forever, and they're 22. It just makes us feel really old at that point.
Oh, God, yeah.
So this is proper get involved chat room time now. Predictions for tomorrow. We'll go through them in order of the appearances of when they're going to be. If you are trying to put your predictions in there and you're struggling to, that's because you do need to subscribe, because we are a bit militant that way. We're not letting you play around and get involved if you're not at least subscribing to us. So yeah, you have to be subscribing to be able to comment. So anyone that isn't already, get yourself in there and get your predictions in, and we'll share a load of them up on the screen as we go through, and then you can all laugh at us tomorrow when we get them all wrong. So first game of the day, my mate Wesley plays here, and he is opening the day up against try that one again, Ryuzi Azumoto. That was easy for me to say, struggling there. This is a game where, I'll be honest, I know quite a bit about Wesley Blazier. I think in terms of what he's done over the last year as well, we know he's been in really good form. He's played well at Pro Tour. He's obviously picked up a Pro Tour title along the way as well. His opponent, however, I have not a clue about. I'm not going to even pretend that I do. And for that reason, I'm going to pick Wesley Blazier to win this one 3-0.
Yeah, I think Wesley Blazier wins, and I think his form of recent does make him a comfortable winner. But just because I don't know much, or I don't know anything about Azumoto, I'm with you there. I'm going to say he may nick a set because he'll produce something special for 3 or 4 legs. So I'm going to say Wesley wins 3-1 in the opening game of the afternoon.
There we go. So you've gone 3-1. I've gone 3-0. Adam in the chat has 3-0 as well. James 3-1 with you. 3-1 for Bob as well. Bob, one of our members on there as well. 3-0 for Daniel. And Lorenzo's got 3-0 as well.
I'm quite happy to have agreed with Bob because from memory, Bob got a lot right. Yeah. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, that's thrown me a little bit there now. I'm thinking I should have gone with. You've got to go one of the two ways, haven't you? When you don't really know anything about someone, you either go, I will either give them one, or they're not going to do anything. And yeah, I gambled early on the fact that he wasn't going to win anything. Next up, the man that we all love to see at the Palace. And I'd like to say that's Luke Woodhouse. Nothing against Luke Woodhouse whatsoever, but we all love ourselves some Lawrence Ilagan. It's a wonderful throw. He's just a good character that we like to watch. I think this is a really good game. And I think we'll see. I think we'll see it being relatively close. Woody's been playing well this year. But Lawrence just always fancied that the throw's too good for him not to sort of to win legs and win games up there. But I haven't decided what score I'm going to go with yet, so I'm going to throw it to you first.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's going to be close. I just don't know if it'll be close in sets or will it go deep in every set, but Woodhouse wins the decider. I think it might be the latter. So I'm going to go Luke Woodhouse to win 3-1.
Yeah, I think you might be right as well. I think this is sort of the beauty of set play, where we'll see that it's very close in terms of legs, but someone winning relatively comfortably in the overall score. I think 3-1 Woodhouse as well.
Although I'd love a last set decider between both.
Oh yeah, we always want the last leg. So we want in every single game we see. It mean we wouldn't be on here until about 4:15 in the morning, but
it's worth it.
It feels like that sometimes, anyway. To be honest. Adam's gone 3-2. He's got it going slightly closer, as has Bob. We should have watched Bob's prediction again. Daniel's got 3-1 Woodhouse. 3-2 for Lorenzo. James has got Woodhouse 3-1 as well. And Jonathan's thrown them all in one go. What's he gone in? 3-0 Blazier, 3-1 Woodhouse. Okay. So, consensus very much for the first 2 games is that everyone agrees that it's going to be Blazier and Woodhouse winning. This next one, just looking at the odds with sponsor Paddy Power, obviously wouldn't look at odds with anyone else. But if you are having a little flutter on it, make sure you are doing so responsibly. But yeah, Paddy Power's your place. Plenty of freebies flying around on there as well. So yeah, the title sponsor are the one to be with for this. Next one is a bit closer in terms of the odds, and we've got Alan Suter against Kai Gossard. What way are you going on this one?
I think I'm going to disagree with what bookmakers are offering and go for a Kai Gothard 3-2 win. Just don't think Suits hasn't quite been there this year. He's not quite convinced me enough. I love him as a player. I hope he has a good run, but I don't know. I think just the way Kai played recently as well, I think he gets the job done 3-2.
I'm going to go the other way. I think it's close. I think it goes all the way. But I just think experience up on the stage will tell when it matters. So I'm going 3-2 Suter. We've got Bob's got 3-1 for Kai in the chat. Daniel's got Suter 3-1. Jonathan, who we popped all his predictions up before, had 3-2 Suter. 3-0 for Adam. That's gone bold, gone for the whitewash. And he is right. He does play well at the World Championship.
Yeah.
As I've been here before. And then we have got 3-2 for Lorenzo as well.
I think that's what we've seen the first time, isn't it? A lot of disagreement and variety of scores. As in, it's the magic of the World Championship, really, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, James 3-2 for Suter as well. It is one that really could go either way, and I think it will be a really close and it'll be a good game to watch as well. And then, do we see our first seed fall in the next round? Just looking with Paddy Power, they can't split them. They've got them both 9-10 on. And I think that's pretty fair. I think that's about right. The way that Jermaine's been playing recently, we've not seen a lot from James either. I think that's pretty much where it should be in terms of the odds. If anything, I'd probably slightly favouring Jermaine if it was my money that was being sort of was up for grabs at that point. I'll go first on this one. First seed falls. James Wade gets beaten by Jermaine Wattimena and loses 3-2.
I disagree with you. I've got a feeling James Wade, we've already heard about how unhappy he is with the timing and when it's on, and he wished he'd have Christmas off. So for that reason...
I think he's having Christmas off. Go home and have his Christmas to himself.
He's going to upset the family once again this year. Going to have to do a few hours on the practice board in the afternoon. I think he wins 3-1. I don't think Wattimena matches the performance we saw tonight, unfortunately. He's won't quite replicate that. And yeah, Wade wins 3-1.
Well, you've got not the same score, but agreement from James in the chat room. He's got Wade winning it. Adams with me, 3-2 Wattimena. Daniel as well, 3-2 Wattimena. Lorenzo's got 3-2 Wattimena as well. With a lot of smart people picking 3-2 Wattimena.
It wouldn't surprise me.
First afternoon session of the tournament done. But it doesn't end there tomorrow. We've got 2 sessions tomorrow. Not just 4 games. We've got 8 tomorrow. And we go into the evening starting off with Neil Sonneveld against Robert Owen. Where are you going on this one?
Oh, I really want to support my fellow Welshman, and obviously a late call-up to the World Championship, as in where will his head be regarding it? Because obviously it's a massive chance for him now, as in if he gets a good run, it helps him enormously. And I really want to back him. Just Zonneveld playing well. He's solid, as in he doesn't often lose first round matches. I think he has too much for Robert Owen, and he wins 3-1. Sorry, Rob, if you're listening or watching.
Yeah, that's very much your school of predicting is very different to the Dan Simpson school of predicting, where if there's anyone from the Northeast, he just picks them to win regardless. You just go on some actual logic rather than just throwing wild nonsense out there. I'm with you on this one. I'm in full agreement. 3-1 as well. I just think he will have too much for him. I think, like I say, generally does play well. He generally gives a good account of himself, and he tends to do well early in tournaments. So I'm with you on that one. I think Zonneveld is the one to go through. In the chat, late one from Bob there on Watamina. By the way, he's got Watamina 3-1. Rob Owen 3-2 for Daniel in the chat. We've got Bob's got Rob 3-2 as well. Zonneveld 3-1 for James. He's with us on that one, as is Lorenzo. Adam's got it a bit tighter. He's got it at 3-2 there. James has said that Littler's practicing again on Target Dark Hunter. Yep, I was trying to play him last night and didn't manage to get to play him. Just to say I've played him, it was never going to be able to compete with him. But yeah, don't go and look at any of that. Just stick with us for now.
He'll be on late tonight.
You won't be able to play him anyway. There's no point. In terms of the next game, this is a really good game. And I'm slightly surprised at where Paddy Power have it in the odds. I do think Connor's the favourite. I do think he's had an amazing year. But at 9-1 on, I ain't touching any of that. That is not a bet that I want at 9-1 on. 11-2 for Ben Robb. I think this is a great game. I think it's me to go first this time, isn't it? I think Connor wins. Yeah. I think Connor wins. And I hope he wins. And I think he does it 3-1. But I think this is, as we sort of mentioned earlier, this is one that's really tight in terms of legs won. But when it comes down to it in the sets, I think Connor will nick a couple of them in last leg deciders and end up winning it 3-1 overall.
To me, the key to this game is consistency. We've seen recently what Connor does, and he is consistent with his scoring, with his finishing. But you never know with Ben Robb how he's playing. If he can match him, if he can consistently throw straight dart, we know he can score heavy, and he'll have to compete in this game. As in, it was nice seeing him in the arena tonight, supporting his fellow Australasian player.
Yeah, you can't miss him. To be fair, he is.
No, exactly.
He's a big unit. Is Ben Robb?
Yeah.
If he says it's Wednesday, and I'm not arguing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm clearly confident that he didn't need to practice, but I do agree with you. I think Connor's playing too well not to win. And I want to be different, so I think Connor wins 3-0. Yeah, I think Connor to win 3-0, but could be close in terms of legs in all three sets.
Yeah. We have got pretty much agreement with us here again. Everyone's been very agreeable with us in here tonight. We've got James got Connor 3-1. Bob's got Connor 3-1. Adam's got it 3-2. He's got it a little bit closer. I think maybe a couple of those close sets might go the other way. Daniel's got 3-0 for Connor, and we've got 3-1 for Connor for Lorenzo. Second to last game of the day. Cameron Menzies against Leonard Gates. Where are you going on this one?
It's funny. Had you asked me 6 months ago, my answer may be different. I just think Cameron Menzies seems to have sorted his, maybe not sorted it out, but he's how he controls himself on the big stage has got better, and he's now winning games that he was losing a year, 18 months ago, and his confidence is growing. And I saw an interview he and Fallon did with BBC Scotland today, where they were talking about practicing together, and loser has to do the dishes. So he's clearly in the right frame of mind to win big, important matches, to avoid doing the dishes.
That is a driver. That would make me want to win games, because I hate doing the dishes.
Exactly. So with that in mind, I think he's in the right headspace. And yes, Lenegate is a good player. Played well on the seniors tour. He did all right in the Grand Slam, but I just don't think he's consistent enough at the moment to produce the darts he needs to beat Cameron Menzies. And he does get a set, but I think he only gets the one set. And Cammy wins 3-1.
Yeah, I'm very much with you again here in that I think Cammy's just playing too well. I just think in terms of levels, I think we'll just see him be too good for him, really, I think. And I think, like I say, we know Len can play up on that stage. We know he is a good player, but the consistency isn't always there. And I actually think I'm going wide on this one. I'm having 3-0 for Cammy in this one. I don't think it goes particularly close at all. In agreement with me is James. He's got 3-0. Daniel's 3-1. Bob 3-1 as well. So you're in good company again there. 3-1 for Adam as well. And Lorenzo's got it 3-1 as well. Not had any sort of rogue selections from anyone here up until now. Are we going to get any for... Well, actually, I'm going to let you think about the final game for a minute, because we're well past talking about Luke at this point. However, we now have a clip of him.
He's defending world champion.
Defending world champ. We're going to hear from him first while we have a little think about what everyone fancies in Going Price Keane Barry. So first of all, just before we do that, here is the reigning and defending world champion and world number 1, Luke Humphries.
Yeah, I didn't know. I think I've seen her before, but I'll send Wayne a message. I didn't really know whether to say it or send him a message yesterday. I knew yesterday just because I didn't know if he knew everyone knew it was public. But yes, my condolences to Wayne. He's one of the top guys in the world, and no one deserves to go through something like this. I think Wayne's been with Donna since he was 14 years old, and horrible thing for him. But hopefully he knows that all the players and all the fans and all the journalists and everyone's here for him if he needs, and he take his time away and reflect on what amazing woman she was. And I'll send him a personal message myself, but I wanted to give him a bit of time to just to succumb to what's happened, and hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, I think we all second that. Obviously, no words from Luke there about his game, but just the awful news that broke at the start of the day today, that obviously Wayne's wife Donna passed away, sadly. So obviously thoughts with him. I don't know if we'll sort of see him at any point throughout the tournament or not. Whether he decides he wants to work, or whether he decides he wants to take some time away, whatever works best for him, obviously is what we want. And just obviously just words of just sort of condolences and love and support for him, really.
Yeah, 100%. As in, it's an awful time, and hopefully he knows that the darting world is there for him, because he'll be so missed heavily over the next few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is where we sort of wrap up now. It is the final game for us to talk about, and it is Keane Barry, who played so well this evening to beat Kim Ivretz, up against Going Price. And because I've given you a little bit of time to think about it, it should probably be me going first, but I'm going to make you go first.
I'm going rogue. I am going off the Richter scale rogue here. Price to win 3-0, averages 98, 99, maybe over a ton, and Keane Barry only wins 4 legs in the match. I think the Gerwyn Price 2.0, 3.0, whatever point he is now, is born tomorrow, and Ali Pali is witness to something nobody expected apart from me.
I like it. I like that you've gone bold on it as well, that we're fully in there.
Yes.
Like I said, everything was all a bit, everyone was just all in agreement in the chat room and with us. It's good to have something a little bit raw. I'm slightly disappointed you've done that because I think he plays really well as well. I'm going to give Keane a set, though. I do think he will get a set, but I think we see top level Gezi. I think this is like, and it's one of two ways. Like, I generally have been saying all week, without giving too much away about what I think might happen in the tournament, that I think he either wins the tournament or he gets beat first round. I don't think there's anything in between. Like, if he turns up and plays like we know he can, he might just go on a tear and win the whole thing. So yeah, I think 3-1 because I do think Keane's playing really well. And I think if it was someone that hadn't played as well today as he did this evening, then I might have gone with you and gone 3-0 as well. But I just think he is playing really well. I think he will get possibly even similar to sort of the game he had today, that he might win the first set and then Gezi sort of warm up from there and sort of run through it after that. But yeah, 3-1 for me. And I'll be honest, in the chat room, we are we've got a lot of people sort of got it very, very close. Missed match starts from Gezi. Oh, that's a bold prediction from Bob. I like that as well. Maybe we make this a thing that every night, like the last game of the night, we just slow it down a little bit, have a bit of time to think, and just throw in bold predictions. I like
yes, sounds good to me.
Price 3-2 there. And for James, Daniel Price 3-2 as well. Lorenzo's got Price 3-2. And Adam's got Barry 3-2. So yeah, everyone's got it close. There's only me and you that think it's not going to be close. So we finally got something a little bit exciting and controversial into the chat room in the final game of the day. And that is us done. So first day of darkness. We've got it out of the way. We've got the first fallout out of the way. I feel like it started well, and it's only just going to go up from here. I think we're going to have a really, really good tournament. And yeah, that is day one of the Paddy Power World Darts Championship done. I've been Cam McFarlane. Alongside me, we've had Carwyn Evans. Thank you, everyone in the chat, as always. If you don't already, like I say, like and subscribe. Make sure you can get involved as well. And we will see you all, I think it's possibly, I don't know if it's you tomorrow. It's definitely me tomorrow again, which will be a very common theme throughout the tournament. And yeah, we will see you all tomorrow and we do it all again. Thanks, everyone.